Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be here with you all today. My name is Tanya, and I work here at Michaels. I have been at Michaels for almost 3 years as a team member, but I've shopped at Michaels for a very long time, and you probably have too. It's so much fun to walk in the store and see all the great things that we have. And I have to tell you, that recently when I went to my store and I saw this box right here, I got so excited because I knew that I was going to get to join you guys with about this box and about that card right there. So if you are ready, I am ready to start making that card with you. Okay. All right. So we're going to go to where you can see my hands making a card, and we're going to do that together. All right, so you may have the box. Maybe you don't, and that's okay because there's also a printable that has a lot of the same items in there that you can cut out. But we're going to talk about the box first. Let's set the sample card aside and let's open it up. You may have already opened your red box. Maybe you've taken another class and you've already been in and done some activities and wondered what we're going to do with this, some of these things. And here we are, we're going to do the card today and gather some supplies. So the first thing we're going to need to look at is this book right here. This is our instruction book. You've probably already looked in at it. And so let's do it together. We're going to find our craft. It says the pop-up greeting cards on page 7. So I'm going to go over to page 7, and here's my pop-up greeting card. And it tells me everything that I need to gather together. You may already have your supplies, but I don't have all mine yet. So let's get all of them out to the box, and that's going to give you some time if you need to run and grab something as well. Okay, so it says I need these stickers right here with the Saturn, with the shapes of the moon, has some letters. There's some starfish and shells. So I'm going to look in here and I'm going to find that one. There it is. There is that sticker sheet. So I'm going to set it aside. Got that. Then I'm going to need this with the little astronauts. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. That's this card right here. It's not a sticker sheet, it's just a regular card. Going to set that aside. Next, I need some glue. Got my glue out. And if you didn't have this box, that's okay. You can just use some regular school glue. That'll be fine, or a glue stick even. Some scissors. And it has these squares right here. Those are actually our paper. So I'm going to grab out my paper, and it says I need 3 blue ones. There, I've got 3 blue and 1 yellow. Let me set that aside. And I need these shapes right here. Now it shows that they're already punched out, but in my box, they are not punched out. And I bet you they're not punched out in your box either. And we'll do that together. So I'm going to set these aside. And now it says not included is a pencil. Well, I've got my pencil. Your pencil may look different than mine, but as long as it's a pencil or something that you can write with, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to need some star stickers that are turquoise and yellow. Got those right here. I'm going to need, oh, look, there's my sun. I'm going to need a sun, and then my markers. And there they are. Okay, I've got everything from my supply list. So I'm going to set my instruction book aside so I can put this away.
Hey, Tanya, we have a couple questions for you.
Sure.
Is there enough materials for more than one person to make this craft?
Yes, there's actually at least 2 sets of materials in there, maybe more. Looking here, it looks like there is on the back of the box, it shows me 3 of these and 3 of these, 3 of the stars. I know that there's 3 suns. So maybe there's 3 sets. So you could make 3 cards, or 3 friends could make cards together.
Okay. And then the other question I have is, what if they don't have the glue that came in the box, what
Mhm.
other glue can they use?
Um, you can use a glue stick, just a regular glue stick like you might use at school, or if you have like Elmer's glue or some kind of a school glue, that's fine too. I don't recommend hot glue. There's no need in that. And I certainly don't recommend something that might stick your fingers and make your fingers stick together forever. Well, not forever, you know that, but then you wouldn't be able to work your stuff. So school glue, glue stick, that's the way we want to go.
All right, we have one last question that came
Sure.
through. They don't see the bloopers in their kit. What else could they maybe use instead?
Okay, you don't see the blue papers in your kit. I'm so sorry they're not in there. Make sure you dig under and they're not hiding, because sometimes things like to hide from us. Look in all the different places in the box. So they've got all these other different places. It could be that it got somewhere else. So just poke around, and if you don't see it, it doesn't have to be this particular blue paper. It can be, if you have extra yellow, use the yellow paper. That'll be fine. Or you can use white paper. And when you use white paper, the stars will actually, when you draw stars on there, they'll show up better. But I think it would even be really neat if you did something, maybe if you had a magazine at home, you could actually make this card with magazine paper. And it would really be crazy. Maybe there's a page in a magazine that shows a sky scene. And so you could do that. And that would be just fine.
That's all the questions for now.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got all my supplies. I am ready to get started. And I'm going to look here at step 1. Now, step 1 tells me I'm going to need my scissors, my pencil, my yellow paper, and I'm going to need to use my templates. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my templates and I'm going to punch them out. And I'm just going to start punching. One thing I like to do is I like to just carefully go around the edge of something that I'm punching out and remove it. Now, if you do not have the box, but you have the printout, then your page will look like this. And instead of punching right now, you can be cutting all these shapes out, okay? So I'm just going to punch all of these out, set aside the waste, and I'm going to do all of them. How many of you have already taken a Camp Creatology class this summer? What was your favorite project that you've made? Go ahead and drop that in the Q&A. This one's being a little tricky. See how it's not just wanting to come out real easily? Well, if I pull too hard, I could tear it. So I'm going to turn it over and I see that it's still kind of connected. So what I do is I take my scissors and I'm just going to carefully just cut it loose. There it is. There we go. Now I'm not going to fold these yet. I'm not going to fold the templates yet. I'm going to take that and set aside, get my yellow paper out and my pencil. So I've got my yellow paper. Now, if you don't have yellow paper, that's okay. You can use a different color paper and it'll be fun and different. And different is always really exciting. So what I like to do when I'm tracing is I like to make it easy for myself. If I put this right in the middle of the page, like that, then I would have to draw or trace all of these lines, and then I wouldn't have room for everything. So first thing, I'm going to kind of lay everything out and see, okay, yeah, everything is going to fit on my paper. Well, to make it easy on myself, I'm going to take and make one edge go against this straight edge and make the other edge go against the bottom straight edge. And now I'm going to trace, and I'm just holding it down. And if you need someone to help you, maybe an extra hand to hold that down so you can trace, then that is fine. And that means that I only have to trace these two sides. And then I'm going to do the one across the top. Again, I'm going to put it towards the edge. And then across the top edge as well. So side and top on this one. I'm going to hold it down. And then I'm going to trace. And that just leaves me with one left. And it will have to go in the middle, but I can at least get this side up against the edge. And I can trace my long side, my straight side. Little short end down there. I'm going to turn it, make it easier for myself. And then I'm going to trace along here. There we go. Okay, so my tracing is done for this. And now it says I need to cut it out. And I'm going to show you a trick about cutting things out with the scissors. The first thing I'm going to show you is why I do it the way I do, why I cut the way I do. So with my scissors, if I were just to take and cut where it went all the way to the end, look what happens. It makes a little tear in my paper there. So I don't want to cut that it will go all the way to the end. And I have a trick for that. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut these short little edges off. And my trick is cut a little, scoot. So when I scoot, I just open my scissors back up and cut a little and scoot. Cut and scoot. Okay, and then I'm just going to snip that little piece off and get it out of the way. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this short side here. Cut, open up my scissors, so I'm scooting. Cut, scoot, cut, and now I'm going to get that little piece out of the way. And I have one little tiny, tiny sliver. I'll go ahead and get that taken care of. Scoot, cut, scoot. And that's off. And now it's time for me to cut out these. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my straight line right here. That's the easiest line for me to cut. So I'm going to do that one first. So I'm going to cut, scoot. You see how I'm opening up my scissors as I'm cutting? Cut, scoot, cut, scoot. And there I'm at the end. Okay, so now I have two pieces. So I'm going to work on this one next. And this one has a curve, and I have a trick for cutting curves too. So again, I'm going to do the cut and scoot, but instead of moving my scissor hand with those curves, I'm going to move the paper, and that looks like this. So watch my scissors. They're doing the cut and scoot, but my paper is what's moving. And if it gets a little tight, like in this corner right here, it's getting a little tight for me to work, I cut off that paper and get it out of the way. So cut and scoot, and I'm moving my paper. You see my scissors are staying in the same place. They're just opening and closing and opening and closing in my scoot. Have any of you ever used this trick before to turn your paper? I didn't learn this when I was your age. I learned it when I was an adult. And I wish I had known it when I was your age. So I'm going to set that one aside because it's cut. Now this one has two curves, and it's going to be difficult for me to try to cut those curves with it still attached. So I'm going to make it easy on myself, and I'm just going to go through here and cut it apart. I'm not worrying about my lines right now, except that I just don't want to cross over them. So cutting right in between the middle. So do you see I have my two pieces now? This one has this curve and this one has the other curve. So now I can do the same thing I did on the first one. I'm going to cut and scoot, but I'm turning my paper, not my scissors. Okay, almost finished with our second one. There we go. And now for the last one. How's everyone doing with their cutting?
It seems like everybody is doing pretty good. We do have a couple people who have asked you to slow down, but we've also had somebody asking you to speed up as well. So
Okay.
I think we're a little bit all over the place.
Well, I'm just gonna keep going, and I will let you know, friends, that if I'm going too fast, don't worry about it, okay? You just take it one step at a time. Don't try to rush through it, because this is being recorded. But then also, if you go to Michael's YouTube, so if you go to YouTube and you search Michael's pop-up card, you can find a video of me doing this. So, and then Chanel just shared that you can view the recording of today's class. So you're going to have options to see this again, but just take it slow, okay? So we're just following those steps. So we did this step, and now we're going to move on to step 2. Now I'm going to set aside my yellow strips, and I'm going to get out my blue cardstock, and I need just 2 pieces of it. So I have my 2 pieces. And this step tells me that I'm going to fold up. It doesn't say how much. So we're just gonna make that up for ourselves about how much we think that should be. And then I'm gonna glue it together. So the first thing I like to do is on the short end, I like to tap it just a little bit so that my edges are even there. And then I'm gonna take it, and I'm just taking like my fingertip, that much right there, from here to my tip. And I'm just gonna fold it a little bit, just make a little bit of a crease in it. So you see, I just made a little crease. How well that can show up for you. And now, once I have that crease, I'm going to take it and I'm actually going to turn it over and fold it down so I can see my edges. And I'm trying to make sure that those short edges right there, that they're not coming out, that like they're not wompy job, like they're not like that. Trying to make sure that they're even and flush. And that looks right. And just finger pressing it. And I'm going to look at it. Looks good. So then my trick that I have about making this a good crease is I take the handle of my scissors and I just push down. I'm not pushing down really hard, y'all. Just pushing down to make it a firm crease. So that gives us the fold in our card. And we have the 2 pieces here, just like it says in our instructions. And now it says that we need to put glue on one side and then put our card on top of it and glue these 2 pieces together. So I've got my glue. If you have a glue stick, that's okay. And I'm going to take, and it's kind of hard to see this clear glue, maybe on the video, but I'm doing what I call dot, dot, not a lot. I'm just putting little dots of the glue, not a whole lot of glue because I don't want to have it running out everywhere. So let me show you my dot, dot, not a lot. See that? That's going to be just enough. Now, again, I'm going to take, and there's my glue side, and I tap those ends together, and then I'm going to slowly push this out. And just press it. And it's now a card that I can open up. I have a hinge. right there. That made a hinge for me. The next thing it says for me to do.
Tanya.
Yes, ma'am.
We have a couple people who are a little confused by that. Are you able to show it again?
Yes, I am. Let me grab some more paper. Look up here. I'm going to set that aside so we're not confused by it. I have my 2 pieces of cardstock, and I'm going to tap down my short end so that these are even. And then I'm just folding up, and it's just a little bit. I don't know. My scissors have a measurement on it. And if I were to do the measurement, I'm going to do from that 1, there's a 1 on there, down to this line. But really, y'all, it's okay. If you do it a little thicker or a little thinner, that's going to be okay. You're just going to fold it over. So once you do that, you have 2 cards that have a folded edge. I haven't creased them really hard. I've just folded them a little bit. So now I'm going to push it down really good with my fingers to start a good crease. So look at that. So there's one piece. It has that crease. My other piece has that crease. And now I'm going to make that crease just a little bit better with the handle of my scissors, and I just press down as I go across that edge. So the difference is, now look at that crease. See how tight it is? That's what the difference the scissors make. So I'm going to open it back up. So there's my 1 top card flap. And I'm going to put glue right on this bottom one here, just on the flap. And I'm doing my dot, dot, not a lot. Go. And now I have my glue there. I want to make sure I'm still lined up real well. And then I'm just going to lay over my top one over the bottom one and press that together. So now they're gluing together. And that makes my hinge. So you can see that edge right there. That's my little flaps, and they are glued together. Okay. So our next step tells us that we need to glue one of these onto the front of our card. Which one do we need to glue on the front? Well, we need to glue the one that doesn't have the folds. So when I look at my tracing templates, I can see these dotted lines, and they tell me that these are going to fold, but I'm not ready to fold. I need to find the one that doesn't fold, and then I'm going to match it to the ones that I've cut out. And there's my match. So this one is going to be on the front of my card. So set those aside. And I'm going to put some glue on this. And it doesn't matter which way you do it. And I'm just going to dot, dot. Get that glue on there. And then I like to take it and start in one corner. And then slowly work my way across, lining everything up. There it is. And just press it down real carefully. Sometimes if you press too quickly, the glue's not set and the paper wants to move. So I just press down real slowly there. And then that part's done. I'm going to set it aside to do step 4. And step 4 is talking about the folds. So I've got these 2 yellow pieces, and I've got my tracing template. So we need to have both of those. And if you're using the printouts, these little gray lines, they're not real dark. Those are your fold lines. So what I like to do to make this easier on myself is I like to take and match it up with my template, and then I fold my template on that fold line with my paper on top of it. And that helps me know where my fold goes. So I'm going to turn this one around. See, there's my fold line. And I'm going to fold both of them at the same time. So now this has a fold on it, and this end has a fold on it. Finish with that template. Now I'm going to work on this template. This time I'm going to put my tracing template on top and match it up there. And then I'm just going to fold right there on that fold line. Fold my paper. I'm going to do it again on this end. Kind of holding this in place so it doesn't slip and slide on me. There we go. Okay. So now I have folds on this side. And then I need to, I believe my next step, I'm going to turn the page. My next step is to glue those two together. So I'm going to take these two and I'm going to glue my flaps together. And I don't know that it matters. Like if you wanted to do it this way, it would still work. It doesn't matter which way you have them. They're still going to work. So let's put some glue on our dot, dot, not a lot. We just need it on one side. There we go. And then I'm going to push these together, and then I'm just going to push together my little flaps. I'm even going to set it on the table a little bit so that these straight edges are flat on the table. That way I make sure that everything's even. It's trying to slip and slide. You know, that glue is tricky that way. I'm just going to hold it a little bit, let it dry, set it aside. There we go. That is drying. What it is making is that front part of our card. So let's look at our card for a minute. We've done this part. We've done the fold. Now we've just made this piece right here that pops out. So we're getting there. We're almost to the part to just decorate our card. It's getting really exciting because the decorating is a really fun part. All right, so now it wants me to put, step 6 says to glue this on here, but I have a pro tip for you, if you will. If I glue this on now, it's going to make it more difficult for me to draw on my card. So, and that's what it tells me to draw on it in step 10. Well, I'm going to draw before I glue this on. I'm drawing. So I am skipping just for a minute down to step 10, and I'm going to take my markers and draw around on the card. So I'm going to draw some stars and maybe some galaxies. And to do a galaxy, I like to just do dots. They're kind of hard to see with this blue marker on the blue. Let me try a red. That's a little bit darker. I don't know if you can see my little galaxy starting there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start dotting, and I'm going to dot across the page. Have you ever been stargazing at night and watched the stars? And if you have you ever seen shooting stars? Let me know in the Q&A if you've seen shooting stars before. So I've got this kind of star. Now there's some other kinds of stars that I can draw, and I've got some samples here. I can do a 5-point star, and that starts with a V, an upside down V. And then I take, and off of one of my points, I take out, and see I've made another V. Look at that, there's another V. And then I'm going to take this line and make another V, but I'm going across my point there. So there's a V, and there's a V, Got V's everywhere. Here's another V. And then once I get to this point, I just take these two lines and connect them. And I've made a star. You can also make a star by taking just a line and then making a cross it and then an X on it. So kind of like you start with a T and then put an X across it. Or you can just do a line across and put an X across that. Kind of looks like a snowflake, but when you have it in the sky with other things that look like stars, it'll look like a star. So I'm going to add some stars. Yes.
Can you show the first star one more time?
Yes, I certainly can. I'm going to show with a different color this time. Let's be colorful. All right, a 5-point star. We're going to make the letter V, okay? So I'm going to make it upside down though. There's my, let me start over. Here's my V upside down. And then I'm going to make another V, only this time my V goes from here across there. So look at that, it crossed that line. And now I'm going to turn my paper and I'm going to make another V. And this time I'm going down here and I'm going across this line. And then I'm going to connect these two lines. Now, some people don't make the V's, they just make it all in one motion. And they just go up, down, up and across, over and down. But that takes a lot of practice. And if you're just starting to make a 5-point star, the V's will help you to make those 3 V's and then connect the line.
Okay, and we had a couple more people request the other 2 stars as well.
Okay, sure. Okay, more colors, more colors, more colors. So we've got a T, like a lowercase t, and then we put an X across it. That makes a star. Sometimes you can make it where maybe the T is not as long. Looks like a plus sign, and you make an X across it. That's okay too. And then the other kind is a line across, a horizontal line, then an X. On a keyboard, you would call that an asterisk. So I'm gonna make them on my card. It's a little hard to see it on here with this light, with this blue card, but I'm just gonna make a couple more on here and I'll show you what they look like. Okay, let me show you my stars. There's all my stars, and you can see my little galaxy floating around in here. And then I'm going to open it up and I'm going to make some more stars inside. Do my little galaxy again. I have found that the red shows up really well on this blue. And as I'm making dots, some of my dots have tails. So in the sky, if you have a star that has a tail, what is it called? Go ahead and drop your answer in the Q&A. And then I'm going to purposefully make some right here. Make one with a dot and make a line.
We have a couple people saying comet or shooting star, which.
Perfect. Yes, either one. Either one. Way to go. I remember a long time ago, I got to see a lot of shooting stars one night. It was so neat. There's certain times of the year that you can see a lot more shooting stars. Okay, I've got some stars and I've got a galaxy that's going across my page. It starts over here and it goes all the way across my page. And now I'm going to decorate my yellow. And I don't know, is it sand? Is it the moon? I'm not quite sure what it is. So what would you make the yellow? Would you make it the surface of the moon or would you make it sand? I'm just going to draw some circles and color some in a little bit. And I'm going to think about sand and how sand sometimes has these little waves on it. They're where the wind has blown the sand and it just makes these little ripples in the sand. If you've been to the beach, have you seen these ripples in the sand before? Where it blows it all up? We enjoy going to the beach, but we don't get to go to the beach often. We live in Texas and we live in the north part of Texas and there's not a ocean beach real close to us. So we have to drive a long ways to get to an ocean beach. But when we go, we really enjoy that. Okay, so I've done my drawing. So now I'm going to go back to step 6 and I'm just going to put this on here. But look at that. Oh no, it's too short. But that's the trick, you guys. It's supposed to be too short because when it's too short and I open it up, you see that right there? It pops out from my card. And that's what we want. So it's supposed to be shorter. So I'm going to take and I'm going to put some dot dots on one flap. And I'm going to glue this side down, matching up with my corner. That's the trick. We want it to match up with the corner so it'll make that pop up. And then I'm going to come to my other side. And I'm going to put some glue on this side. And then I'm going to match this up. Now look, see this, what's happening? It's pulling my card up and that's what's supposed to happen. If that's what's happening with your card, you are doing the right thing. Okay. Got that there. Look at that, y'all. It's already doing that thing. It's popping out from the card. You see that dimension that happens there? That's what we want. Okay, set that aside. And now it tells me that I'm going to do some tracing of these two pieces right here on some blue cardstock. All right, so here we go. Now, I'm going to place this just like I did with the other, where it matches up with two edges, save myself some cutting and some tracing. And then I'm going to trace the rest of this edge. Now, I'll tell you, sometimes it's hard to see your pencil on this blue paper because it's so dark. So if you have a darker pen or something that you want to trace with, or even like I could trace with this red marker, it's going to show up better than my pencil will. See that? Look how well that shows up. My pencil line you wouldn't be able to see, but you can definitely see that red. So I'm going to do this one with red too. Matching this up, long edge on a long edge and short edge down here. And then I'm going to trace, turn it around. Oh, it got off, but that's okay. I had it right up against the edge. So I just put it in that same place again and trace. And now I have my two pieces traced. So there they are, traced out. And now it's time to cut. Well, we know our trick. We're going to cut and scoot, cut and scoot, cut and scoot. And I'm not going to worry about my curve right now. I'm going to cut all the way across. sometimes it's just easier to go ahead and cut across than to deal with that extra paper as you're trying to turn. Okay, so our trick is that we hold our scissors steady and we do our cut and scoot, but we move our paper. There we go. That one's cut out. And then last one, cut and scoot. I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to cut my short end, and now it's free. Set my scissors aside, and I've traced it, I've cut it, and now it's wanting me to fold. And we're going to do the same thing we did before. I'm going to take my template, I'm going to lay it on top of my paper, and I've got these fold lines. Well, we're going to do what's called an accordion fold. That means that one time I'm going to fold this way and another time I'm going to fold that way. So I just keep going back and forth with the way that I fold. So this first one, I'm going to fold it like this. So tracing templates right here, and this is right here, folding it that way. And then the next fold line, I'm going to fold the other direction. So this is what I've got so far. Now the next line, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to fold the other way. So it's going to fold backwards. And then I'm going to fold towards me again. And one last fold, and it's going to fold backwards. So there's my accordion fold. Kind of looks like an M for Michael's. Okay, so I've got that one folded, and the last one I need to do, actually I needed to cut 2 of these if I remember correctly. It says 2, so let me do that real quick, because I just remembered we have 2 little astronauts. So I'm going to put it against a straight edge, draw my 2 lines, cut it out, cut and scoot, cut and scoot, and then cut my short one. So this one is going to go with this tracing template, and I'm going to lay it on, and again we're going to do the same accordion fold. So I'm going to fold it where tracing is on the top of this side. There's that. And really this one doesn't matter which way you go. Start one way or the other, it's okay. And then I'm going to fold again. So I folded down, then I folded back again, and I have another M. I made a second M for Michael's. We're going to do that one last time. Okay, y'all ready? I'm going to take this one, I'm going to fold it where the tracing is on both sides there, tracing image, tracing template says right there, and this paper here. Then I'm going to fold this back, and then I'm going to fold this back again. There we go. And there is my another M. I've got lots of little M's happening here. All right, templates are done. Got all my folding done. Next, step 9 says it's time to put my little astronauts and my sun with these pieces right here onto the card. Now, this is where your creativity is going to shine, because you get to put these things wherever you want to place them. So we got to get them out of the card first. I've got my little doggy, my little kitty cat, astronauts, and I really think that they need some names. So pop in the Q&A what you think these little kitty cat and the dog's names should be. And while we're doing this, I'm going to just carefully go around, and I'm slowly releasing it from the backing, this paper. And I don't do it real fast because I don't want to tear it if it's stuck. So I've got my dog out. Now I'm going to do my kitty cat. And that one right there is a little stuck. It just doesn't want to come. So I'm going to go to the other ones. that one's a little stuck. So I just keep going around until I get the easy pieces done. That one was easy. But I have this right here on both sides, and it's just being a little bit, oh, that one came out. There we go. See, it released. But if it didn't, I would just carefully take my scissors and snip it to release it. Okay, I've got my two little guys here, and I need a sun. So let's get our sun out. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue on one of these flaps. So see my flap like this? On one of the top, of one side, I'm going to put a little glue. And I'm going to attach my little astronaut to it. So I'm just going to put it just like that. And I'm going to set that aside, let it dry for a minute. And now I'm going to do the same thing with my other astronaut. How are you guys doing? Y'all got names for the dog and the cat yet?
We've got some of the good ones, but
Ooh,
I will
yay.
say Buzz and Neil after the first two astronauts were my favorite.
I love that. I think that's fantastic. Okay, so now we're ready for the sun. And that's going to go on this big one, Buzz and Neil. I love that. We're going to glue the sun on this part that has the curve on it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here in the middle. I don't need to put it all around all the edges. It's going to be okay. And then I'm going to take my sun and I'm just going to stick it on there. And it's okay if it doesn't come over the edges. It's okay if I see a little bit of this blue. It matches the back of my card. Everything will be fine. All right. And now it's time to put our astronauts in the sky. So I can put them on both sides, or both of them on one side. I can spread them out. I can, yeah, so those are my options. I can put one on each side or both on the same side. And I think I'm going to put one on each side. I think that's what I'm going to do today. I've made this card several times and I've done it differently every time. Put a little dot there. Glue has a little bit of string to it, but that's okay. Just wind it a little bit and it'll break off. Okay, so I think the kitty cat is going to go right over here. Was the kitty cat Buzz or Neil? I don't know which one the kitty cat was.
They didn't specify which one, so okay. I think either one's
That's okay.
fine.
That's okay. And then I'm going to put some glue on the one for the dog. Put that one on. But I'm going to do something funny with the dog. I'm going to turn the dog upside down. He's floating upside down in space, but he's pretty happy about it. And then the last thing I have is the sun. Just put a little bit of glue on there, on that the flap that's like a rectangle. And now I'm going to put this, set my glue aside, right here. So now he pops out right there, and then I've got my funny little astronauts popping. So everybody's popping out. I think that hasn't set. I'm going to turn mine upside down. Look at that. I made a change in the middle, and it was okay. It wasn't, my glue wasn't set. It was okay for me to make that change. That way the sun looked a little differently. Okay, so I've got my doggy over here and he's flying through the sky and the sun pops out. So when I close this card and then I open it, boom, everything pops out. A little puppy dog. He's so good, adorable, floating through the sky. All that's left now, y'all, is to put stickers on it. So we've got these little pieces right here that were also on the same thing as our as our astronauts. And this one was already kind of undone from the card. So I'm just going to take and glue it on the front. It's not a sticker, so I do have to put some glue on it. And I'm just putting glue across the bottom here. I'm not gluing the whole thing, and that's okay. That'll give it a little dimension. Put it there. It sticks up a little bit. Now, if you were to take one of these and glue it to this area down here, let me take this little floaty, this guy right here. If I were to glue him down here, I would want to make sure that I didn't put glue where it would be above this yellow. So I'm just going to put some glue on the bottom. Again, dot, dot, not a lot. Across the bottom. And then I'm going to put my floaty right here. And you see the little head of that giraffe on that floaty is above the cutout. If I had put glue on the back of that head right there, then it might try to glue to my card, and that wouldn't be very fun. Okay, we've got stickers galore. So here's all my stickers, and you can put things wherever you want. Here's a planet that reminds me of Saturn, and I'm just going to put that right there. I'm going to put another one on the front side. And then there's some letters in here too. If you wanted to spell hello summer, you could do that. But I think I'm going to leave it without words on it right now. And I'm just going to add some seashells onto it. I'm trying to get this guy right here. This seashell. I'm going to add seashells down here. And be a starfish. And then I want to put some stars in the sky, these puffy stars. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the inside. I'm just going to put some stars in the sky, put them different places. If you wanted to put seashells in the sky, guess what? It's okay, because that's your card. You can do that. You can put seashells in the sky, or you can put stars in the sand. That is perfectly okay. Where did you guys put your astronauts? Did you put them on the same side, or did you put them on different sides? How did you arrange yours? I'd love to hear it, because I can't see your card. Okay. Maybe one more planet right over here. There we go. Now you can keep going and putting some more stars on yours or more stickers across the bottom. I didn't put any seashells down here, so let me throw one over here and this guy over here. There we go. I feel like that needs to have one right there. So let me grab a red one. And you can use stickers. You can use all the stickers if you wanted to. This is your card. You can save them for later and maybe make a different card with some of your leftover stickers. But I'd love to hear what your card looks like. So would you tell me in the Q&A about your card? Where did you put your astronauts? Did you do any fun stuff like putting seashells in the sky or planets in the sand? Did you use the letters on the front? Or did you write a message?
So far we got that they put some people put their astronauts on the same side, some said opposite sides, some said in the same place that you did.
Okay. All right, so we've got quite a variety out there. That's great. I love that you guys have been doing some different things and exploring it. And some of you decided that it was best to make it just like me. And you know what? That's okay too. Whenever I'm making something that I'm following somebody else, sometimes I'll do that. I'll do it exactly like them, but the next time I'll make it a little bit different and make it my own and make it personalized. But this is our card and our craft for today, our pop-up card. And remember, you can rewatch this later if you need to. You can also go to YouTube and you can search for Michael's pop-up card and you'll find the same thing, but my card's going to look different. It's going to be laid out different because I did it different every time. All right. Were there any other questions before we needed to leave?
No questions, but Alba did say that she loves yours.
Oh, yay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, if you guys want to share your card, check with an adult in your home and ask them if it's okay for you to share your card. And if you do, we'd love to know about it. And if you put it on social media and you use the hashtag Make It With Michaels, so hashtag Make It With Michaels, or Michaels Classes, or Learn with Michaels, or on Instagram, if you tag us at Learn with Michaels, we'll see it and we'll be so excited to see your cards. I can't wait. I'm going to be watching, okay? All right, guys, thanks so much again for joining me today and making this card. And I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day.